I wanted to break down the abstraction on the last video. So I know we talked about standard input, standard output, and standard error, but sometimes it can be a little bit confusing to kind of say without showing. Let's try and break down this abstraction by creating a diagram of how the abstraction actually works. We start at the source, the keyboard. I read an analogy before which says that the standard input, output, and error are similar to plumbing. So we start at the first pipe, which is 0. So because all Unix-based systems use files for everything, 0 is reserved as the standard input. So the first pipe goes here into the program. So we put in the input to a program. So for example, with the cat example I showed you where I put hi James, that is the standard input. Now it can go one of two ways. So you can see here we have the reserve for 1, which is standard output. And we also have the reserve for 2, which is standard error. So if you execute the input correctly, it will go down the pipe and through to standard output, where that will then be displayed on your terminal screen. Or if you do something incorrect, it will go down this side of the pipe and into a standard error. So number 2 will be triggered. Now with append and redirection, these are like the valves. So if you want to redirect or append to a file or a tank, you can do that. So 1 would be the value of standard output redirected into a tank. And number 1 for the 2 double arrows would be standard output appended. So that means if you've already got output inside that file, it will then add to the end of that file. Whereas if you overwrite, if you redirect, it'll start from the beginning. So if there's something already in this file, it will start from the beginning and take away everything that already exists in the tank. Now the same with standard error. If you don't specify 2, this is important for this one. If you don't specify 2 as the redirect or append, it won't do it by default. It will only display the standard error in the terminal. Obviously, these concepts are very abstract when you first think about them. If you tie it to an analogy, in this case plumbing, you can start to see that there is a system in place and that everything actually exists as a file and it's only being referenced when it's needed to be referenced. So you start to realize that it's just one carriage being dragged by 3 horses.